I did it. I did it. I got a sub 20 average in a competition. My hair looks pretty terrible right now. I don't mind that. I've been trying to get this for a little bit now. I've gone to a couple of competitions and I finally got it this time. And I want you guys to listen to me because you guys are never going to believe the story that led up to this and how unlikely this was. First things first, this competition was in Rochester. And for those of you that don't know, I live in New York City. So Rochester is like a 6-hour drive away. And competitions start at like 8:30. So the best chance I had to make it there on time was to wake up at 3 a.m. and go. But that was far from the only thing that seemed to be against me for this event. I got a new cube as well, and it's a pretty good cube. It's a WRM, but it was supposed to come like a week before it did. It ended up coming literally the day before the competition, the day before I had to wake up at 3. So I had very, very little time to get used to this cube and, break it in and stuff like that. So by the time I went to the competition, I wasn't entirely used to the cube yet, so that wasn't great. But what was probably worse was having to wake up at 3 a.m. and drive for 6 hours. I'm not great with long drives, but to say that this drive was bad would be an understatement. This drive was so terrible for me. I got so car sick. I felt so terrible. I literally had to get out of the car and vomit once. That has never happened to me before. I've gotten car sick. That's never happened. This is the first time ever. So yeah, the drive was not fun, and we ran into a little bit of traffic. We had to stop a couple times. So the time that I got to the competition ended up being literally like 5 minutes before the 3x3 round started. Also, I completely missed the 4x4 round, which I was kind of excited for, but not really that much because I only recently learned how to solve the thing. I'm not fast at it yet, so. But I did care about 3x3, and I cared about getting there on time for 3x3. So when I realized that we were going to be so close to late on that, I was scared. And it meant that despite feeling sick and feeling terrible in the car was my only chance to actually warm up. So I had to warm up in the car. By the time we got to the competition, I was feeling terrible. I felt sick from the car. I was hungry. I was tired already. My body's not great with this kind of thing. And I had very little time to warm up in the competition before our round started. So I did my best, but it wasn't much. And not to mention, in pretty much any competition I go to, I'm good enough to get to the second round, but like not by much. So the pressure is kind of on for the first round because if I don't do well, then I won't make it to the second round. So combine the pressure, the sickness, the not feeling great, the tiredness, everything was against me, the lack of warming up. And then out of nowhere, when the competition started, I pulled this performance out of my ass. The first solve was decent. 20 is about what I averaged, so I was okay with that. I figured that one would probably count, so I needed that to be the worst time counting. I had to have at least 2 sub 20s counting, meaning I had to get 3 sub 20s.
You gotta put your initial or your number.
Jeffrey, 8.
Second solve was kind of encouraging. 19's not amazing, but it's good enough, and now I just needed 2 more sub 20s.
Seamus, station 7.
That was exciting. PR single and a time plenty good enough. Now all I needed was 1 more sub 20 single in 2 more tries. I knew I could do it, but luck is a pretty big factor for me, and I still wasn't feeling too great. The pressure was on for this fourth solve.
Station 5.
I did it. I did it. With that fourth solve, I got a sub 20 average. Now it doesn't matter if the last solve was 5 minutes. That would be a sub 20 average because I got a 20, a 19, and an 18. At this point, my worst possible average was 19.22. And obviously, that's what I ended up getting.
Thank you. And I want to.
Come here.
But it's okay. All I wanted was the sub 20 average, and I felt really good after this. This immediately boosted my mood, and I was excited because everything I wanted out of this average, I got. And yeah, this ended up being a pretty successful little weekend trip over to Rochester. Don't worry, the competition wasn't the only reason we went. We didn't drive 6 hours and wake up at 3 a.m. for a cubing competition. But it was nice, and it was fun. I did make it to the second round, but we don't really talk about my performance there. There was this, though. This did happen.
You ask the lady over there, and she has a Good. I think that's PR.
I got another PR single. After getting one in the first round, I got another one in the second round that ended up being a 16 flat. So now I'm a little infuriated at the fact that that's not a sub 16. A DNF and a PR single in the same average is kind of crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys want me to make more of these like competition story videos because I really enjoy going to competitions and I enjoyed making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.